Okay, let's go.
Today, I'm going to explain how you can brainwash yourself for success. With 7 lessons from 7 books in 7 minutes, I'm going to achieve this. And if you're still watching at the end, I'm going to share one secret that instantly kills negative thoughts. Lesson 1 comes from Die with Zero, getting all you can from your money and your life. Negative thoughts come from one lie. I'll start later. But later is where your dreams go to die. This book taught me that money is a tool to buy freedom, a tool to buy memories, and a tool to buy experiences, not a trophy you hoard. So brainwash this into your mind. Don't save your life for retirement. Lesson 2 is your next 5 moves. This is written by Patrick Bet-David, one of my favorite creators out there. Master the art of business strategy. So most people don't fail because they're lazy. They fail because they're reactive instead of proactive. So they wake up, maybe they scroll, then they stress, and then they repeat. Every day, the same thing. But this book taught me that if you plan 5 moves ahead, and this sounds like a lot, but when you plan 5 moves ahead, your brain stops panicking because you know where you're going. So brainwash this into your mind. Anxiety is often just a lack of direction. Lesson 3 comes from the courage to be disliked. And this book highlights the Japanese phenomenon that shows how to free yourself, change your life, and achieve real happiness. I read this on the flight to Australia, and this talked about approval being like a prison. Most people don't chase their goals because they're scared of being judged, right? But here's the truth. If you live for their approval, you'll die with their regrets. This book taught me that you can't control what people think. You never will. But what you can control is what you do. So brainwash this into your mind. Choose freedom over being liked. Lesson 4 comes from a classic, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Success is social. And this book talks about you can have the best ideas, you can have the best brand, you can have the best plans. But if you can't communicate and connect with people like you and I, you'll stay invisible. So this book taught me that people don't remember what you said, they remember how you made them feel. Brainwash this into your mind. And this is really important. Influence comes from empathy, not ego. Lesson 5 comes from The Psychology of Money. This one by Morgan Housel talks about how money isn't math. Money comes down to behavior. And this is an important concept to understand, the psychology of behavior. This influences the markets more than any other math could. And most people lose financially and mentally because of comparison. When they see someone online, they instantly feel behind. When you see someone who has more wealth than you, has more followers than you, has more girls than you, has more power, you feel behind. But this book taught me that the goal isn't to look rich, the goal is to be free. So brainwash this into your mind. Wealth is what you don't spend. Lesson 6 comes from Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. This talks about how you could build assets or you can stay trapped. That is the main premise of the book, and most people were trained to work for money, but they were never taught how to make money work for them. So in this book, it taught me the simplest rule, which is that assets put money in our pockets. Liabilities, they do the opposite. They take money out. Brainwash this into your mind. Every single dollar should go towards fighting for your dream. Lesson 7 comes from Sell Like Crazy. If you can't sell, you can't scale. A lot of people think selling is manipulation, but selling is actually communication. And communication is confidence. I like this book because it keeps it super simple, and that's how we want it to be. This book taught me that success is not just about mindset. It's about systems. It's about our offer. It's about our program. It's about our follow-ups, our consistency. all these things, the messaging we put out there. It's marketing ourselves. So, what I want you to brainwash into your mind is stop hoping people notice you. Learn to market yourself. So, that's 7 lessons from 7 books in 7 minutes. And if you can take anything from this video, I want you to take this, okay? Negative thoughts aren't always the truth. They're programming. It's usually programming, and this programming comes from your phone. It comes from your past. There's a lot of things that happen in your past that program you, as well as your current environment. All these things are programming you constantly. And you can either let that programming control your life or you can rewrite it. Here's the secret I promised: you don't need new thoughts, you need new standards. Because when your standards rise, your excuses die. Think about it. When you put your standards above everything else, the excuses that you are coming up with are not needed anymore. They, in fact, die because you're already elevated yourself to that position that you want to be. Negative thoughts come from the area where you don't have standards. When those standards come down, the excuses go up. If you want part 2 with 7 more books, comment part 2 in the comments down below. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.